Raki, you've just published some research on the way brands are or are not communicating with UK ethnic minority audiences, and I think one of the findings was that 2 in 3 of those ethnic minority consumers you surveyed said that mainstream brands were, in their view, failing to reach them. But isn't it also true that it might be a mistake to differentiate between consumers in terms of media? I mean, don't they consume the same media?
Well, in answer to the question of whether they consume the same media, the answer is yes, to a certain degree. My generation and perhaps the generations to come are very exposed to mainstream media, but equally we are exposed to specialist media related to our cultural backgrounds or our cultural interests, which I think that brands aren't really capitalising on today.
So if you're talking to a consumer brand, would you be advocating more or less black and Asian faces in their advertising, or is it more about the sort of media that you're using to reach these audiences?
I would say that I'm very aware that there are some mainstream brands today that have made an active effort to ensure that different people from different backgrounds are represented in their advertising campaigns. I think the reason why some ethnic minorities feel that that's a tokenistic gesture is because it isn't relayed through all parts of their communication strategy, and also it isn't relayed internally within their organisation and their company ethos, which is why some people feel that it's just something that's tokenistic and as companies are practicing what they preach.
And what did your research tell you about the use of celebrities and celebrity endorsements? Because obviously with some ethnic minority audiences there are cultural and even religious issues which marketeers need to take into account.
Yes, I mean, one of the interesting findings was that out of when we asked black people in the UK, black Caribbean and black African, to name the celebrities that they most aspire to be, every single person that was named was of a black origin, whereas when we looked at Asian people, there was a mix of people from Asian, white and black. So that's quite telling. If we're looking to reach black people in the UK, perhaps having somebody from a white origin won't have as much resonance and therefore won't have as much impact. It's small, telling, understated, subtle differences that we need to be aware of today. And if we want examples, all we need to do is look at what's happened in the United States. There are trends that show that ethnic minority groups have held on to their cultural identity. From our research, we've seen that over 80% of black people and Asian people feel that their cultural background and religious background are very important to them, and that's not going to change. And that's where I think perhaps mainstream brands and media are going wrong today.
Thanks.